So, it is Children's Day, and I'm going to tell you about my adventures with children's studies. See, I passed MA and I got JRF. That was in 1998. And then, 1998 December exam. And then I wanted a topic. I went to my research supervisor. She was from my own department, Dr. Jamila Begum. I asked ma'am, what area shall I work on? And ma'am said, what do you like? I said, I love children. And I also love films. I want an area that nobody has really worked on. And then we talked about it. I read more. I collected a lot of books and articles as much as I could. A lot were not available. And I fixed my topic. It is generally based on the representation of children in films. And I started reading about children's studies, children's literature, movies in general, and also children's films. See, when you're doing research, you have to read widely on the area in which you are working. Not only children's literature or children's films, but even in general about films, in general about children's studies, etc. Very, very important. Even now, it's a very important area, very good area for research. So, at this time, with ma'am's help and blessings, I got the Shastri Indo-Canadian Fellowship, Research Fellowship. That fellowship is not there now. And I was able to go to Canada. We went to the University of British Columbia. My husband also got it. We went, both of them, to the same university. He went first, I followed. And there, I narrowed my research. I focused on children's films in Canada. And in research, it is very important to narrow down your focus. You can't do a broad area. It should be a narrow area. I then collected articles and books on children's films in Canada. There weren't many books. I also contacted people working in children's film industry. I visited Toronto to attend the International Children's Film Festival there. I got a lot of DVDs and movies from various sources, and then I narrowed down the research on a few primary sources. Already primary sources were selected when I gave the proposal, but it changed completely because when I went to Canada, I depended on the available resources. Based on my reading, I changed the focus a little bit, etc. So it is normal when you're doing research, it is normal that your topic changes, that your focus changes. Not topic, but the focus of your topic or the argument might change a little bit. That is normal. If your title itself has to change a little bit, then you will have to get the approval of the doctoral committee. So at every juncture, I was reading a lot of different materials, writing down notes, making my own interpretations and analysis of it, and I was presenting it to my supervisor. Apart from Dr. Jamila Begum, I had also a Canadian supervisor now. Her name was Dr. Maureen Kendrick. You know what happened? When I first met her, I said, ma'am, I don't know a lot about Canadian children's films and not even about films and children's studies. So can you please tell me, I will do accordingly. I will do exactly what you say. And then Dr. Maureen Kendrick said, Kalyani, you are the expert. When you're doing research, you are the expert. You have to read and research and reach conclusions and then let me know. Then I'll be able to help you shape up your thesis. It's like that. That was a very big thing she told me. That gave me a lot of confidence. And then after some initial reading, I started writing the chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually there are 5 chapters. First chapter is an introduction. Second, third, fourth chapters are usually focused on the primary sources. you focus on a few themes or aspects of the primary sources, all the primary sources, and write the second chapter. Then third chapter is based on other aspects. Like that you write. And last chapter is usually conclusion. If you're doing a survey, or if you have developed a table or some methodology for analyzing your primary sources, you can add all that in your dissertation. Sometimes photographs, sometimes interviews. I had interviewed some children's filmmakers in Toronto. I have added that also in my dissertation. These days you take other sources also, like blogs, book reviews or film reviews, and so on and so forth. You can add in your primary and secondary sources. It was a long period, reading, understanding, documenting. When you're reading, you should pay attention to documenting everything correctly, because later on you will be utterly confused otherwise. My own supervisor, Maureen Kendrick ma'am, she was working on children's studies and play, the games that children play, etc. That is also a topic for research. Children's Studies Board is a very interdisciplinary field. It touches upon other disciplines like psychology, sociology, education, etc. So on and so forth. So you can read literary theories and apply those theories and concepts in children's studies. So there is so much to be done in children's studies still. If you're interested in children's studies, you can read upon that. My own dissertation is there in Shodh Ganga. My PhD dissertation is there. You can read it and look at it. There are lots of theoretical ideas, etc., that I have given in the introductory chapters that might help you. And there will be a lot of new writers, theorists that you can use for your own research. So even if you don't want to do research in children's studies, you can still write blog entries or do some research papers, etc., because it's a very burgeoning area. Also, apart from just children's studies, teenage studies, teens, their fiction, their narratives, their problems, their social relationships also are very important. Young adult fiction, as everybody knows, is a new genre in literature itself. So you can base your readings and research on any of these areas if you're interested. And first, as I said, start with blog entries and small scale writings, but then you can expand it to PhD research. And after PhD research, you can develop it into a book. You can publish your dissertation. That also can be done. If you want, Bodhi Tree can publish your dissertation for you with ISBN number. Many research scholars have done that, because then that publication will really look good on your CV. So these are my thoughts on Children's Day. Happy Children's Day, everybody. Even if you don't work on children's studies, as students, there is a child in us who's, really thinking about various aspects of life from a children's perspective, childlike perspective. So to that child, hello, greetings on this wonderful day.